after your harrowing adventure through one dude's real nice house.
Yeah, just a normal dude, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
no, nothing weird about that dude.
Who didn't brand the samurai chick at all? No.
Yeah, Emmy
But she
does
has the
not.
mark right there on her hand.
Emmy totally doesn't have some kind of supernatural something branded upon her back of her hand.
It'll be fine. He said it was. He said it. It didn't. She knows what is expected and what it does, and she did not get a sense that he was lying or hiding any other side effects. So,
Speaking of, are you covering that up or are you just leaving that open?
I mean, that is a good question. She's a swordmaster. She probably doesn't wear gloves, does she? Yeah, that does look unusual, doesn't it? She's
A wee bit.
maybe she'll take out some bandage wraps and wrap her hand so that the back of it is covered.
It looks especially unusual when, like, sometimes you tilt your hand to the side and it takes a moment to actually go with your hand.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, maybe better hide that.
What a shitty tattoo. It can't even be asked to work with you. Oh, hold on, hang on. We're moving this way now? All right.
More like it's
My tattoo has lag.
more like it's almost like a fluid under your skin
Playing the God rays.
that takes a moment sometimes to reorient itself on your skin properly. Sometimes you see those sort of liquid-like properties.
Yeah, that's different than she was thinking.
So do you just cover that up with like bandages or a glove or something?
Yeah, she covers that up with bandages. Gloves are tricky because she's probably learned to handle swords with, with bare hands,
Right.
like you do.
Okay, so heading off to once you guys head off to the City of Five Trade Winds, the city itself is fairly large, but pretty much centered entirely around the seaport itself. You have the inns, the taverns. There's at least a couple good brothels. There's plenty of really good eateries and also warehouses and storage. And people that specialize in storage, specialize in transportation across Zoria proper. And they all seem to be that whole thing, that whole industry. All these industries are centered around the seaport itself. There's a pretty large market as well, just shy of the seaport, of imports, exports, a lot of knockoff goods, lot of people getting duped into buying Suzaki weapons and items that like are not even remotely.
Look at this sweet ass katana.
Yeah. It was like this cool fucking like lamp I got. It's completely authentic and like it's not even remotely.
I also got the Suzakian tattoo that says peace and just chicken chow mein.
You don't understand. I just came back from an anime convention.
Yeah. Look, Seazok's main export is culture, basically, if you were to look at it from a civilization perspective. that's bound to have a lot of knockoffs. So, and yeah, from there, there's a few nice inns that you could possibly stay at if you'd like. And your main goal here is because you guys are heading off to Frontier. But yeah, we start with you guys in the City of Five Trade Winds. What are you gonna do? You just arrived from whatever travel caravan was going from Crestonian to the City of Five Trade Winds. You arrive at the bustling marketplace with the seaport as well as several of the inns and taverns and other establishments well in walking range.
I'm very uncomfortable around people, especially large crowds of people, so I'm just going to try to find my way to our destination early and wait for these chuckle fucks later.
Okay, well, what actually is your destination?
It's the ship, right? Because we're going to Frontier.
I don't think we actually have a ship booked
Oh,
yet.
God damn it. Then I'm going to have to hang around.
Yeah. All right. Have they given us, like, do we have money for this leg of the journey? Did they give us?
You have been provided traveler's checks, and these are effectively you've been provided official checks from the guild, from the Zoran Adventurers Guild, that you've been given with the caveat that that you really can only use them on getting from point A to point B. So, not really affording you provisions or entertainment or anything like that, or any specific luxuries, but they'll pay out whatever cost you have for, say, a caravan to a city or a ship to a continent.
So if we want to, like, say, eat on the way to the continent, we should probably offer our services as ship hands.
Yeah, unless there is a passenger ship that the cost of entry happens to include consumables.
Ship with room and board, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Just remember to keep the receipts, because otherwise we're going to get screwed over when we finally get back.
Now, can we get a straight shot from Crestonia to Espor,
I mean,
or are we going to have to stop in, like, Czok on our way?
Are you asking around the
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing? Are you asking around someplace? Or
do they have like any kind of like port, like passing, like basically anything akin to like a port authority where you go to book passage officially on ships?
Yes.
Or is it all like find
no?
a guy
There is a port authority. Mostly it's under control by the local militia. And the not even the militia, just the Zazorian Navy.
Yeah. Because they're probably in charge of what ships can have passage and the like.
You get that a lot, though, in Zazoria, where it's just things under control of the Zazorian army or navy, and that is just an extension of the fact that the Despot of the Sands just happened to buy that.
Makes sense. It's their culture.
It would look super authoritarian if the Despot, didn't basically leave the country in a organized anarchy.
Is it reasonable to assume I have at least a little pocket change with me then?
Well, let's see.
I do.
Like, yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, there are certainly jobs you could do here in the city of Tradewinds. If you want to try to make some money while you're here, there are certainly tasks that you could do to try to make some money. But as it
Yeah.
stands, you weren't given any money for this job. The promise is the adventure and the payoff at the end. And also that you can buy whatever transport you want.
Okay.
I start
like the
looking around
idea-
for
I like
passenger ships myself.
I
Sorry.
like the idea of finding something with room and board because I also don't like the idea of people. So if I can get a room where I can shut myself off from people,
All
A
right.
plus.
Do all of you go to the Port Authority asking around? Or does some of you split off?
That's where I'm going.
Unless we have any. Is there anything else we need to take care of, or shall we head to the port and book a ship?
Time's money.
Agreed. Considering the only other option for me right now is to wander around the port looking for a ship with room and board, I think we should go to the Port Authority.
Can't
Sounds like
believe
a
I'm
good
going
idea to
back
me.
to Avonia. Oh well, getting a digging machine will be an adventure in and of itself.
Okay. Well, you guys head to the Port Authority, and the guy in charge, the former, what is a retired admiral of the Azorian Navy. He actually has a list, and actually a few. Actually has one that's like really good. Because you're looking for a passenger ship, en route to Vontier, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a ship called the Wandering Crow that is owned and operated by a Captain James Heady of New Caesarea. It is basically a waterborne tavern.
Ooh.
That'll be fun. Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah.
All right. It's an expensive ride, but the guild's
paying for it.
paying for it. Part of the expense is the fact that anything you drink and anything you eat is just covered in your room and board.
Is there any fine print on limits?
You annoy them, I guess. Tip well. Let's just say that.
Let's see.
Crew reserves the right to throw you off the ship.
The admiral is just like, now you would have to take that up with Captain Heady, but I would assume it would be like any other ships like this, where your limits would be: are you endangering the rest of the crew? Is there a risk of people starving or risk of dehydration of others? If yes to either of those, then you've done too much, and they'll cut you off.
Is there a risk of someone shooting a hole through the ship?
Also a problem.
And looks like this one, the Wandering Crow. Just looking at its heading, it is heading to Port Hope, which is a smaller port in Vontier on the northern side of Vontier. It's not like Victoire or anything like that.
If it's on the northern tip, that means it's actually closer to our final destination, right?
Yes, although it's not on the northern tip. It's still on the east coast. It's just more northeast.
Yeah, well, northern tip of Vontier, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, Vontier has a northern coast. and so on. It's still on the East Coast. It's just more north of Victoire.
Oh.
So it really isn't that much closer to your destination. It's still kind of equidistant if you were to head to Victoire. But yeah. And just looking at the heading, you can tell that any of you who know how international sailing, it takes a very sharply curved course, pretty much avoiding Seazock at all costs, as Seazock Key waters can actually be fairly choppy, and is not a particularly pleasant not a particularly pleasant ride at times. So they take a far a distant and fairly sharp journey, so that they basically don't hit any of the choppy waters of Seazock, and risk these people who are no doubt going to be drunk for most of the journey vomiting everywhere.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Says the functioning alcoholic.
I don't believe you, Luke. Most people can't handle themselves at sea.
Made it over here from Vontier myself. I mean, I have some experience with travel. Plus, we're adventurous. It's not like we haven't been on the sea before.
No, I'm talking about the other passengers. I don't want lots of vomiting men and women all around us.
True.
We just need to stay out of Seazock water, and you need to stay away from crafting any arbalist on this trip.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
No, we won't, because we won't get to that bridge.
And you won't get to the bridge, Luke. Both bridges are off limits for you.
The bridges have been burned.
In fact,
We're not
don't
crossing.
even design any bridges on this trip. I see you with rope and boards and
I forgot that I destroyed your ship, and that was our crossover adventure.
he just walks away.
I am increasingly concerned about this idea.
It'll be fine.
Look, on the plus side, somebody won't be able to get us lost on a ship.
I suppose that is true.
She's just tapping her foot, looking forward and very impatient.
Luke pulls out the checks and pays.
Sounds good. The admiral is just like, yep, I'll make sure that these get to Captain Heedy post haste. The Crow boards at the Crow is currently in ports. Will not be setting sail until tomorrow. But given that it is that room and board is covered, I believe you can board at any time.
Sweet. Well, might as well get ourselves situated, shouldn't we? I mean, don't want to be walking in on the ship the moment it leaves port and have
Ari
no
is
idea where we're
already
going
there.
to.
She's already walking away.
Yeah, you're given directions to where it is currently moored, and yeah, it's it is as you guys as any of you happen to approach, you see that yes, this looks exactly like what you would imagine if you were to take a stone tavern and pick it up and put it on a boat. It looks exactly like what you'd imagine.
But how does it not sink to the bottom of the ocean?
Well, I think mostly it's made out of wood. with some stone for appearances, basically. But yes, it looks exactly like if you took a classical tavern and put it on a boat instead. So it's one of those ships with the roughly the stern is the backside. If I were
yeah,
of a
bow
ship.
because it's bow
Yeah.
and stern are front and back, and port
Yep.
and starboard are the ones I always forget which one's
Yep.
left and which one's right. But
So yeah, it's one of those ships where the stern is kind of castle shaped. So it's very very tall, with its own like very very tall, 2 stories, and it looks like that pretty much is the tavern and the inn. It's fairly ornate looking, and you have the rest of the ship is fairly long, fairly large in general. Looks like the kind of ship that just generally is not going to that's heavy enough that it's not going to be affected by the waves too much.
So it's like a barge.
Yeah. It's like a wooden barge with a tavern on it, and big
Instead of-
billowy sails.
Yeah, instead of hauling coal, it's hauling drunks.
Yep. And yeah, you show your tickets, and members of the crew who are standing by, they let you on. Looks like not everyone has boarded yet. So it definitely like not everyone has boarded yet, but you are. There are members of the crew that will show you to your individual rooms. There are quite a few, and they're pretty much on the second story. The first story that you're shown to is the tavern itself, which is huge. It's got a very large bar. In the back, there's a kitchen. The bar is stocked with all kinds of beers and liquors. And the second floor, where you get to the rooms, there are a few different kinds of rooms. There's single rooms. There's double rooms, and then there's like big communal rooms where 4 to 6 people stay. It really just depends on what you purchased, essentially.
What did we purchase?
That's up to you.
Single. Preferably one without windows.
Deborah's in like a 6-person room.
There are no.
Gonna make friends.
There are absolutely no rooms that lack port windows.
A curtain, then.
I mean, yeah, you can put a curtain up if you want.
So is this your first time going to Von Terre? He says while polishing like an arrowhead to some poor stranger.
Oh, you're just talking to any other passenger?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I mean, look through
Just
the list.
gonna
here.
hassle this person incessantly.
Okay. So just any random person,
Mm-hmm.
or do you want me to start describing some of the people that are currently on right now?
Go ahead and describe some people. I'll be
Okay.
off in the
There is a young woman, New Zazorian woman, with a very ornate hooded cape. Usually seems to be keeping the hood up. She has bright blonde hair, thin but fine blade at her hip, and she seems to be traveling alone. There is there are a pair of Von Tai men that are touring the ship currently. They're young, so probably in like their mid to early to mid 20s. They're dressed in all black, and just really just don't seem to be happy about the upcoming trip. And there is, let's see here. There is a impractically attractive New Zazorian man in desperate need of a shirt.
Someone, please! It's an emergency.
He has short red hair slicked back, very well sculpted, beautifully tattooed, and clearly battle hardened. He has a very large sword with him. Then let's see. There are also there are also a trio of Zazorians that are currently in the tavern itself, sitting at a table, just kind of talking amongst themselves. They're look like they're in their 30s, like their late 20s, early 30s. And the three men, they're particularly also particularly well built, but not in desperate need of shirts. So those are the people who are currently there. Devereaux, who would you be talking to? Who would you be bothering?
Probably those two Von Tai.
Okay, so you're going to be like, so you ever been to Von Tai before?
No. I mean, he won't say that, but he's like, oh, you're going back to Von Tai, eh? Von Ter?
Von Tier, yeah.
Von Tai.
Von Tai is the adjective.
Mhm.
Von Tier is
Von Ter.
The taller and skinnier one just kind of looks at you. You are a Marslander, are you not?
Yeah.
And they both turn away from you. They turn away from you and go elsewhere.
God, I remember why I left Avonia and Von Ter.
It would have only been better if you licked your palm and put it out for a handshake.
Yes, they pointedly turn and walk away.
Oh. Man. How am I supposed to find somebody to play hot pennies with now? He puts his coins back in his pocket. His coin back.
I'll say one of the Zazorians. I'll say the shorter, stockier one. Just when you say that, he just calls out, "Hey, what's hot pennies?"
It's a game.
Wait, we like games, right, guys? And there's a general agreement between all of them. What's up? What kind of game is it?
It's a coin game.
All right.
He'll bust out his small little board that's all beat up. And
yeah, they'll
get
invite
them
you
to-
over to the table they're sitting at.
and then just start a game of Shove Hop Penny.
Now, what actually is that? I'm just curious.
It is a weird pub game, which I imagine he would just know since this is time period specific. Let me pop that
Okay.
up for you.
Well, either way, they introduced themselves as Jiren Lon, Halidus Kost, and Mekra Kel.
Hmm.
And they have a pretty chill demeanor about them.
Mhm.
They have a very chill demeanor about them, and just seem like they're totally here to have drinks and have a good time. So when you introduce the idea of games, they're just like, man, this Halidus is just like, hey, this turn is like this trek's gonna be probably a little while. So like you're into like games and like gambling and things.
Games more than gambling. I don't have enough money to my name to be a gambler.
Be honest here, neither does Duran, but doesn't stop him. Ron just shrugs that sort of YOLO shrug.
I actually picked up learning Hop Penny when I was in Vontaire.
Mekra is just like, really? That's because I actually haven't played it before. Now, granted, you know, in the Navy, you don't really. Well, most of our experiences were with like other countries were was Sizalak, for instance, and a few little issues with New Azoria. So, like, ultimately, we didn't mingle too much with any Vontai.
Fair enough.
So a few other people happen to board as time goes on. There is a young Shizaki man and Vontai woman who are clearly married. And are still kind of in honeymoon mode. There are a pair of young Shizaki women who are in their early 20s who are really interested in touring the ship and getting information on how just kind of how it was built. Though the captain himself hasn't yet boarded to give a grand tour or speech. And there is a woman, 30-something Zazorian woman, who pretty much immediately retires to her room as soon as she arrives. Wearing thick robes. And then a Shizaki swordmaster, an aged Shizaki swordmaster, who arrives, in his regalia, he looks like he's in his 50s, maybe his 60s. Definitely the oldest man here, and has a fairly amicable way that he greets people.
That catches Emmy's eye, who has probably just been kind of sitting quietly and politely.
Yeah, if you happen to make yourself visible, he'll recognize the blades at your hip and will
Yeah, she's
uh,
not like
give you-
hiding
give
or
you-
anything. She's simply
and he'll give you a nod of acknowledgement.
she will politely nod in return. She may have to. Obviously, it would be rude to approach him just as he's boarding and getting settled, but she
Mhm.
she would be. It's going to be a long trip. She'd be interested in talking to this man at some point. It's not
Okay.
often she happens across another sword master randomly while traveling.
And then fairly late in the evening. Now, not a lot of like drinking and partying is happening just yet. The ship hasn't even left. And the bartender really like there's food at that you can order, but the bartender really isn't active in taking any orders or anything right now. But the captain does board later on in the evening. And he is Captain James Heady. He is a man in his 40s, fairly hardy looking, a little heavier set, but all in all, fairly strong looking. He is going slightly bald, but has a very thick, respectable beard. Has a very jolly look about him. He introduces himself to all passengers that are on board, and it's just like, hey, just basically says, "Thank you all for booking passage on the Wandering Crow. I don't know if you've heard of my ship yet, or if this was your first time even boarding it. I apologize if it isn't. I won't have recognized your faces or your names. We've been at this for a while, and I'm pretty sure my mind is clouded by the amount of alcohol that I've consumed in my life. But it's okay. So, just so you know, this whole side that I'm the most proud of used to be the Soggy Crow Tavern, which I was the proprietor of back in New Caesarea. But I wasn't content just leaving it be where it was. I kind of wanted to bring it to other people, and also make some more money in the process. So I took what I had and I rebuilt the Soggy Crow on this caravel here, and take people like your fine selves to and from in the best lap of luxury as I possibly can. If you have any questions regarding the ship, regarding me, anything, feel free to ask. I'll be around. It is a fairly easy trip. We avoid storms. We avoid choppy waters. Just, don't start any fights. Be nice to each other. Drink. Be merry. Have a good time. That's all I ask. Give a nod to everybody, and we'll wander off. Ship departs in the morning. That evening, you may do whatever you would like, if there's anything you'd like to do.
Luke decides to be that guy, and while the crew and the captain may not know him, other people might. So he just like goes to sits at one of the tables in the bar, like pulls out his notebook with all his like sketches and stuff, and sits there and lets his celebrity three get some
Yeah.
attention.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The two Von Ty men in all black. They really struggle to not approach you. They and it is Captain Heedy actually does actually is the first person to come by, and he's just like, now I mentioned earlier that faces and names are not really my specialty, but yours is one that I absolutely recognize. Luke DeTroy, it is an honor to have you on my ship.
Oh, well, the pleasure is all mine, Captain. This seems to be a fine establishment.
Thank you. He'll shake your hand.
Offer hand for shake, and what's his name again, just so I can write it down?
James Heedy.
I need to start writing down names. I'm very bad at doing that. I was like, oh well.
Sorry, there are a lot of names in this chapter.
Yeah, no, it happens. It's like it's still really nice to most of the ships I've traveled on have either been the type where you work for your board or nowhere near as nice as this.
Well, thank you. That's certainly been something that I've been cultivating for a while.
I can already tell it's going to be well worth the price.
I have faith in that. At least meets my standards. I'll be honest with you, there really is not too much for me or the crew to do when everything is going great, which is most of the time. There's been times where we've had to chart a different course to avoid a storm. But even that is a momentary distraction. So sometimes you have some of my crew and also myself will come in and partake in the tavern. Well, we're all happy here, to say the least.
Definitely looks like it. Like I've seen Von Ty pleasure ships that are more miserable than this. I'll say that much at least. This is a great place to be in already.
Well, thank you. I do hope you enjoy it, and again, it is an honor. I will most certainly see you around when I inevitably retire to enjoy my bar.
It's, of course, well, working hard or hardly working, gives him a salute and lets him go about his day.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Another person actually does board suit after right before right before the port would be closing down. A Von Ty woman in her late 30s with shorter black hair and a ponytail, high cheekbones, and wearing with high cheekbones and is wearing bulky clothing over an obviously anemic frame. She arrives and looks just pretty much the very first thing she does after arriving and unloading her stuff in her room is eyeing up every single person on the ship with this very frantic, anxious way.
Luke's eyeing her up concernedly.
And as soon as she sees Luke and also Emmy, she is suddenly torn between who she should approach.
I mean, they're probably not sitting that far apart, given
hot
they're part
one.
of the same group.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, I did take Outstandingly Beautiful, so
That is fair if attractiveness is a consideration.
Do you have your guns on you?
Ooh.
what do they tell you? Do they? Yeah. Do they?
Do they tell you not to?
The Newsorian girl, like in like the really nice cape, like she still has her blade on her.
Unless she has been told not, unless she has been specifically asked not to, Emmy definitely still has her swords.
Yeah, like no one's.
Which
like,
of course means her Celebrity 3 is also in effect.
Yeah, which is why I was saying she's torn between who she should approach.
The reason I'm asking this one is because they might say no directly to keeping flintlocks on yourself, since those are kind of explosive on a ship.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. That would probably be looked down upon. Like swords and crossbows and such things are will not be looked down upon, but maybe guns. That's a good point.
If anything, Luke will keep one on him, but kind of like stowed away in his waist or something, because
Okay, well it isn't visible though. This is the question. In which case,
probably yeah.
if it isn't visible, then she approaches the one with swords. As she approaches Emmy, and she just sort of, and you realize as she approaches, her frantic demeanor isn't so much one of anxiety or fear, but more just the human being she is.
Okay, so she's not in actual distress or as much as this is just her life is being
She's just neurotic.
Yeah, her life is constantly being late to everything and last minute, and
she it's clear that this is just her demeanor as when she starts talking. Hello, I am Dr. Torlathon. I do not know your name. I would like to know your name, perhaps, if you are interested in making money in terms of bodyguards. Yes, I am looking for a bodyguard. I do not know if that is your specialty or if I should be looking elsewhere. If I should be looking elsewhere, please let me know quickly. I don't have that much time. Many things I need to be taking care of, many things I need to do. There's plenty of things I can be doing in my room right now, actually.
I am. Yeah, she'll. Emmy will politely wait for her to take a breath so she can speak, and then she'll stand, give a small nod, like a polite half bow, and go. I am Emmy Cuso. I suppose it would depend on how. I am certainly trained as a bodyguard. My availability is I am currently otherwise engaged upon leaving, so it depends on where you are going and how long you would need me for.
Engaged. Right. Should have probably expected that. Anyone that's going to be carrying weapons on the many times should probably be engaged, going somewhere, something important to do.
It is a general time frame. May I inquire as to where you are going that you would need a bodyguard?
I'm going into former Covenant of Tribes territory.
Is that so?
Am I paying very well for any services rendered as of a bodyguard or bodyguards if it happens to be multiple bodyguards, which I think would be ideal just in case you die and I need someone else to be a meat shield. My work is very important, you see, and it is absolutely imperative for the lives of many
And-
that I do not die while I am in Covenant territory.
Of course, Emmy will think they are going into the Covenant territory themselves, right? Already.
Yeah, we're going into Devereaux's hometown, like area.
That is,
In fact, his ears are probably freaked up at this.
Yeah,
she's-
anyone, like any one of you, can very well be listening in on this.
She's
And
she's
Luke's
actually
obviously listening in.
she's actually going to look around specifically for Devereaux because yes, allow me to introduce you to one of my companions. He is very familiar with the area. He may be aware. He will know better than I if it is potentially if it is within possibility of our plans to escort you there. And yeah, she will lead her over to Devereaux. Assuming he is not super busy playing games with people.
Durant, you need to strike the coin harder if you're gonna get it into the bed.
Oh, son of a bitch!
This is not how you win a hot penny.
He flicks it harder, but then a little too hard as it's actually ricochets and hits Halidus right in the center of the forehead.
Oh,
Causing Mekra to nearly fall off his goddamn chair laughing.
who it hits who?
Halidus.
Sorry, which one is that? One of the people he was playing the game with?
Yeah. Duran, Halidus, and
Okay.
Mekra are the Zazorian, the former Zazorian navymen.
All right. I was going to say if it flies at the woman, the doctor, Emmy would totally have deflected the coin.
There's no need right now. Maybe if they start drinking. Maybe when they start drinking. They haven't started drinking yet. You have about a week for that.
Just so the captain makes it a rule that the kegs aren't tapped until the ship actually leaves port.
Yeah, like the party doesn't start until they're actually on the water.
What was the doctor's name again? She said it very fast, and Emmy might actually not have picked the full thing up, but for my notes,
Tor Lafon.
Tor Lafon?
I'll put it in the chat.
You were looking for me?
Yes, Dr. Lafon is seeking bodyguards to escort her into the Covenant of Tribes territory.
Yes, I am a doctor. I am a doctor who specializes in parasitic infections and human and non-human biology and the spread of infections thereinto and thereof. I am on a trek through Covenant territory to follow a particular theory. My research will possibly save thousands, tens, hundreds lives. I am in need of bodyguards, people that can take a bullet or arrow for me. In exchange, I am willing to pay 10 silver coins for a party of them. Just be advised that I need to get my research completed, so there's that.
I mean, I'll take your money. And I can also talk to the locals, so maybe we won't get shot at. That's an added plus.
Good, I like it.
Okay, so when money starts being discussed, Zaggy will just suddenly be in the conversation.
Fair.
Well, let's discuss real quick what exactly you're going to be paying for. So you said 10 silvers for a group of bodyguards or per person?
10 silver for a group of bodyguards. You can split it up as you would like. I
Ah,
would-
but
If you
you
get
also
involved,
have
it goes
a-
from me having 5 to 3.
I am looking for as many as I can possibly get here. The more bodies I think perhaps will be the better. I am aware that the Covenant territory is rife with dangers of both human and non-human varieties. I do not expect that but that my entire retinue will survive. So the more bodies, better.
Right. But in addition to bodyguard, our friend here is also local and and can act as a guide. Clearly, that would be worth more than simple bodyguarding, as he would be able to allow us to navigate dangers otherwise. Wouldn't you say?
You can give me a let's see.
Is there a negotiation skill?
You
Of some kind?
can give me a roll of some variety. Pitch me something.
Also, is there a standard rate for hiring the Adventurers Guild? We could also point out, hey, we're Adventurers Guild members.
Yeah, but
No,
then
there really
she
isn't a
probably
standard
wouldn't-
rate.
Okay,
Then she probably wouldn't pay for us.
probably she'd probably just go to the guild directly then. But
Charm? Would charm be?
Charm will work. Business would work. There is a sort of business skill. So you could use business. You could use. Yeah, charm would all like I said. Charm would also work.
Okay, so that would be charisma plus
Yep.
charm.
Mhm.
Right. And so I have 3 in each of those, so that's
2d8, I believe.
2. Yeah, okay.
So make sure pick out one to be designate one as your trait, because only that one explodes if it hits the max, if it rolls an 8.
Okay, so right, so I just roll. So it's just the 2d8. That's all right. Okay, and you said only the trait explodes.
Correct.
Okay, so 13 then.
Yeah, she's just like. I suppose I can see your point. That would actually be very useful and even more important than extra bodies. So I suppose then I would be willing to up that to about 15 silver coins if that is what you would take. I do not have much more that I can possibly offer on that front, and I think that is a very good deal altogether.
Is there something we can roll to actually know if it's a good deal?
That'd be business.
Definitely don't have that. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
Emmy,
That's an intellect skill. You can roll straight intellect if you want.
Emmy has money. She wouldn't be doing it for the money, so that's not really as much of a concern with her.
Her research
So-
might pay off. I mean, a really big problem for the locals is giddy worm, and you don't want those poking out your legs.
No, absolutely not. Although that is something that a colleague of mine back in a colleague of mine here in Tesoria is currently working on. Tesoria is an isolated environment, very hot, very dry. It's fairly easy to actually keep things in a sterile environment, way more sterile than in Vontier, and all of the garbage kinds of materials that my colleagues in Vontier are want to provide me with.
Right. Could I roll social awareness to see if that's actually all the money she has?
Sure.
And which trait would I use with that?
That one is perception.
Perception. Okay. And 2s are d6s, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I need to swap that out for a different colored die. All right. 6.
6. That's probably not all she has. But it doesn't seem like she's willing to front much more than that.
Okay.
That would effectively be a gold coin and a half, which is, for context, on average, 10 silver coins exchanges to 1 gold coin. So 15 would be a gold and a half, essentially. And a single gold coin is enough to feed the average working family for an entire year.
Okay.
That's generally what the standard of a gold coin is in any of the countries, is the approximate earnings of a working class family, 60-hour-a-week sort of thing, over the entire year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just I was reading up on Vontier. Don't they have a different exchange rate though?
They all have a different exchange rate.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what she's offering right now.
Okay.
So she's offering what nationality is the coins she's offering?
15 silver. It's a general thing. I believe only Sazak has its own currency.
Okay.
Otherwise, the gold, silver, gold, silver, and copper are the currency of choice.
Okay. Yeah. Then Zachy will offer a hand and say 15 sounds like a fine price.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. I will be in my quarter for the time being. However, if you need me for anything regarding, say, medicine, virology, anything regarding parasites or such matters, please let me know, and I will do my absolute best to assist you on that front. I apologize, I'm not much of a drinker or even that much of a socializer. I will probably ask you again for your names about a dozen times. Yes. And then she will provide coinage without bothering to write up a bill of sale. And will wander off back to her room.
Right. So
You guys don't actually know why she's going out there, what she's looking into, but you took her job.
right. So the three of us then.
Well, I guess we can cut the others in if they're interested. I mean, we're going to be heading in the same direction, hopefully.
You may ask the others. I do not require. I am already paid for the time I spend traveling.
Right. Good. So I'll go inform the others of our new job and see if they're interested in helping out. I mean, it doesn't cost them anything to not jump in front of a bullet for the woman.
Some blood.
No, it doesn't cost them to not do it. If they don't join up, it's not a huge loss. And she paid
Luckily,
up
I've been
front.
eavesdropping this entire time, so
I mean, their loss is my gain.
I am, as I told her, I am trained as a bodyguard. My skills are likely most suited to guarding her.
I mean, now that I took the job, though, I can't get drunk on this trip. He'll go get his bow and just sit outside of her room.
She wonders if she should say that she's probably not going to need protection on the boat.
don't say it, you'll jinx us.
Do you head off to Ariadne's quarters where she's no doubt hold herself up?
Yeah. She's probably more competent than Zachy is at actually being a bodyguard.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that. She's not really a people person or a
Yeah.
person.
You don't
What
know
I'm
that, shut
saying
up.
is, she's
You
More
can't be
likely
mean
to-
to lepers like that.
look. If her body's already falling apart, and taking a bullet probably won't do much more damage to it. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not sure that's how leprosy works.
I'd like to explain that Zachy is a politician, not a scientist.
I'm just going to roll intellect plus medicine. Just be like, no.
I don't think you need to roll.
No, you don't need to roll that.
Still an 11, just to make the speech very good.
There you go.
But you spend the next few hours lecturing him on.
On what
Science of
leprosy
leprosy.
Actually, I realize, while when Zachy inevitably leaves to go to Ariadne's quarters, I'll say as much. Luke, you can roll. You can roll intellect plus. Actually, medicine will work here. Intellect plus medicine.
Okay. So do you want me to use the same roll or a different roll? Same roll for the lecture or a different roll?
Just in different roll. It's fine.
Okay.
Intellect plus ass check. Check out Zachy's ass as he leaves.
That is a 7 this time.
Only a 7 to check his ass.
It's a nice ass.
It's a 7. Yeah.
Do I realize that? Wait a minute. She's probably not a leper.
that's not what I was calling for a roll for. You realize that you think you might actually know Tor or of her. A famous Vontai virologist. You think you've actually probably read some of her writings in various medical journals.
So she's not just some crackpot.
No, it doesn't seem so. That's what the role there is for you, is to determine that no, she actually isn't a crackpot. Actually, is a legit virologist. And what you do remember is that, yeah, what you did read in those journals mostly focused on parasites. But you do remember that she has a dry clinicism to her writing that feels very cold and overly analytic. Like just the general way that she would say describe a victim of something had no heart in it.
It's
As if there
purely
wasn't-
scientific, not like, unfortunately, this is the thing that they're going through and it sucks. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah. It's super scientific.
At the same time, though, it appears she's not like, wow, they are in horrible pain. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, she's not like like her writing was not gleeful that they're in horrible pain.
It's just purely analytical.
Yeah. Like subject is experiencing this, and this, etc.
Which I guess if you're going for pure research and text and for text like textbook stuff, that's not too bad, but still.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is what you recall of her.
Awesome.
Okay.
Really quick, while I'm here, while I'm currently the one who's at the spotlight, are the Vontai guys in black still watching me?
Yeah, they're like having they still it's like they really want to go say hi, but they also really want to not enjoy themselves in this trip, like real bad.
Can I social awareness them to like see if? Because for some reason I'm suddenly feeling paranoid that they're secretly here to murder me or something. But
Yeah, you can roll social awareness to just get a read on them.
that'd be perception and social awareness.
Yep.
Okay. Nope, that's a 3.
Well, that's a 3. Yeah, you don't know exactly like what their deal is. They seem. All you can gather is they seem really intent on not having a good time.
Oh,
The-
they're just sort of dystopia Puritans. That's what they are. Okay.
They're kind of like off in a corner basically of this tavern, and they're just like just eyeing everyone, eyeing most people like with judgment.
Were they here already, or were they?
Yeah, they've been here the whole time.
Okay, so I mean, they were here when we didn't see them come in. They were already here.
Yeah, they're already here when you came in.
So okay, we don't know how much luggage they have.
No.
Okay, I go back to my functional alcoholism then.
All right.
I
Then,
only have the lower level booze addiction, not the high one. So
well, Ariadne, you get a knock on your door.
What?
Hey, I picked us up a side job. If you're interested. Bodyguarding. Some scientist woman. She paid 15 silver to the group, so if you don't join, that's just more for the rest of us.
Fine. When?
I'm guessing when we get off the boat.
Your fate.
No.
No! We're starting now! God damn it!
hear from down the hallway.
I don't know.
Less
You
money.
can hear me. I'm behind the door talking through a little slit.
He has very good hearing.
Wow.
All the more impressive because he's yelling.
He actually
throughout
followed because he's actually behind Zeki because he followed because he's like, no, maybe she won't take the job.
Make it sound really gross. Don't we have places to be when we land?
Yeah, she's going to those
Yeah.
same places, so, a little extra money.
She says she's really good with parasites, which was probably for the best. You don't want to get any of those worms that stick out your legs or your feet.
No, I suppose you don't.
You have to pull them out with a stick. It's the worst.
This is. I just want you all to keep in mind that this is the man that charmed Emmy Cuso.
This is before she could speak good common.
She's just like, shh, 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 don't talk.
Just be quiet and handsome, please.
Fine. If it's a job of opportunity, then fine.
Okay. She's pretty easy to notice. She'll talk fast and generally mention how most of us are going to die for her at some point.
Good.
Okay. I'm going to go enjoy the bar.
Now we're
Have fun
splitting
being a hermit.
the money 3 ways because Emmy said she didn't need any.
Yeah.
So that's 5 coins apiece. Darn, I wanted 8. He'll walk off.
No longer committed.
Only getting 5 silver out of this.
Mhm.
With the current exchange rate, when we get to Vontier, that'll be 1 gold.
Mhm.
Math is fascinating.
He's like struggling, counting his fingers.
On the plus side, like I feel like Zaki is gonna be like just be either judgmental or relieved of such simple currency exchanges, given the rate that currency exchanges change in New Zoria.
Yeah, probably. Just
Like, wow, man, you're having a time with this with a simple exchange. How about doing 79% to 1?
Yeah. But if we're out in the wildlands, how will we know if the currency has changed and we should up our rates? These are important questions.
I mean, it's really simple in the marshland. You kill a bunch of animals, pelt them, bring their pelts into town. They give you money, and they also have all of these pubs right inside of town.
Just check Fantasy Google for the current exchange rate.
So then you take your gold coins, or in my case, usually copper, because I mean, I killed some things, but not a lot of things. And yeah, you get alcohol.
right. Well,
Can you please stop talking outside of my door?
yeah. We're leaving.
I'm sorry, I'll let you get back to peeling away your dead skin.
Hey guys, what's all the fuss? We talking outside of our friend's door? No, I'm joking.
All right. So, is there anything you guys intend to do before the night passes and the ship goes on its way? Most people are honestly kind of sticking to their rooms. The bar isn't open yet. A lot of people are tired after a long journey.
I know Ari was gonna try to snag some food when no one was looking.
There's always going to be people at the bar. I'm just going to point this out. We're on a trip with free
Can I
booze.
sneak into the kitchen then?
Do
Like-
you want to sneak into the kitchen? Like that, like kind of like go up and be like, hey, anyone at the bar, can you please get me something with big chicken legs?
It's not gonna be any less free if I get it from the kitchen than when it is served
If you
to
are
me.
that paranoid, you could ask one of us to get food for you.
Like I trust you guys any more than random strangers.
Come on. You and Emmy have had an adventure together.
Uh-huh.
You got lost.
Yep.
She's reliable other than for directions.
No, because I don't want it to seem like I'm some sort of invalid. Someone like who needs help.
Yeah, sneaking into the kitchen gives a much better impression of you.
I can hunt for food all on my own, thank you.
I mean, there's probably plenty of rats on the ship.
I mean, so
There's like just general snack foods and the like in the bar. If you want to just kind of slink out all paranoid like and swipe like I don't know whatever dough covered potato things that they have.
Let's just start with an apple and go from there.
Sure, you can do that. You can swipe one. All right. Well, then in that case, you know,
Look, if this were like some sort of like frat house, Ari's the one who is at the fridge at 5 a.m. when everyone else is asleep.
That's fair. That's fair. Either way, the night passes fairly uneventfully. In the morning, the Wandering Crow, leaves port. And that first day, things are fairly subdued because harsher waters are unavoidable during the first day until you actually get out into open sea. So everyone kind of sticks to their room and essentially gets their sea legs on the first day. And learns how to not or how to keep whatever foods they ate the night before in while at sea. But after the first day, you guys are out of the choppier waters, and things are much calmer. So you have ahead of you about a week. Let's see, it's a week's journey, right? It's a couple weeks long. Rather, and so you have a couple of weeks ahead of you on this journey. There will at one point, there will at some point be about a week in, there will be a big sort of gathering of all passengers and festivities. There'll be music that some of the crew will be playing, and lots and lots of booze. That all passengers are encouraged to attend. But until then, if there's anything you would like to do, anyone that you would like to seek out and interact with, you're more than welcome to.
When it seems he is free, Emmy would be interested in introducing herself to the Swordmaster.
Okay. You when he is free as of, so I'll say like the third day, he actually leaves his room and will frequent the bar a little bit. He mostly just kind of sips on rice wine whenever he's at the bar, or tea if he. Yeah,
they have rice wine here.
Yeah, there is just a shit ton of booze.
Oh, okay.
Like of all varieties.
Emmy may drink lightly with meals then, since they have
this is a tavern put onto the ocean, owned by a man who has mastered the art of functional alcoholism. So he drinks tea when he's not drinking booze, and rice wine if he is drinking booze. And yeah, you can approach him, have a seat at the bar with him, and says, and when you get a chance to actually get closer to him, just because Sisaki clans and like, you immediately recognize his heraldry. He is of Clan Tetsuken of the Highlands.
It is. So, may I have a seat? Sure.
You may, absolutely. And he'll bow his head to you.
Yeah, she will bow lower because obviously he is very much her senior.
Yeah, he's in his like 50s or 60s. He's an older man.
And go. I am Emmy Kuzo. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Tetsuken Haru. It is a pleasure as well.
Or I guess Kuzo Emmy, she would say. Due to Sazakian format. Yeah, and she will take a seat.
It is a bit strange for me to actually see another Sisaki. I had not expected to see, especially another swordmaster in my travels.
Yes, it is unusual for me as well. It's not often I encounter another out and about outside of Sizak.
No, what has inspired it for you then? if I may ask?
My lord has me. Uh, Lord Komimasa has me assisting the Adventurers Guild occasionally.
Ah. Then you're out on your lord's bidding, then?
Yes, that is correct.
I, too, am.
Mm, if it is nothing sensitive, may I inquire what brings you out here then?
It is not sensitive at all. Have you heard of the Vontai refugees in my lord's lands?
Uh, would she have? I
You
assume
can. You,
actually probably. I mean, she probably has, since I said she was probably she was actually investigating, gathering information in said lord's lands.
Go ahead and roll like seems like key history or something.
Uh,
Intellect plus national history
okay. Will do.
for just current events, basically.
Okay. I also have inquiry if that would be more appropriate.
That's actually for investigation, like verbal investigation, asking people, interrogation essentially is what inquiry is.
Gotcha.
Just
Where's my
more
D4?
polite.
Oh, I'll just divide a D8 by 2, I guess. Or, yeah. I had a D4 up here. So that would be. That's effectively a 4, so 5.
Yeah, you have, but you don't know the details. You have heard of Vontai refugees. You suppose that had slipped through past past Akinai. You didn't know they were from Vontier. You didn't know that they were foreigners. You don't know any other details of why.
Yet, I had heard that there were strangers found in the northern lands, but I was not aware of any of the details.
I see. Well, as far as I've heard, there have been no sightings of them in Koimasu's lands. So I would not expect it to be entirely relevant, which is perfectly all right. My lord has been experiencing difficulties with Vontai refugees that have been sneaking through patrols in Akinai and hiding themselves in the northernmost parts of Sizak.
Question. Would that strike Emmy as particularly strange, seeing as they should be passing through Komimasa's territory?
It would strike you more strange that they haven't been caught going through your lord's territory, going through the Midlands, but not strange that people, if they were refugees, would seek that sort of place.
Right, that's what I meant, is that, like, in theory, if they were going through Komimasa's territory, some of them should be being caught getting through the central territories.
Right. Yeah, no, that does strike you as a little strange that they haven't been caught yet while they're en route.
Yeah.
And he just kind of shakes his head and says, "It is a terrible thing, the situation it puts us in. That is why I am here. I am to meet with the Bastille of Vontaire to negotiate what we are to do about the refugees in my lord's territories and her citizens."
I see. That is very important work. I'm
He's kind of like trails off. It's like, my only hope is that when I return home, that the marsh sickness hasn't spread to many of our people.
Indeed. It is very. It is a very dangerous situation if they are. If it is very contagious.
Yes, my lord has quarantined their communities, keeping that fairly heavily guarded and distantly guarded to ensure that the sickness does not spread to our people. It just concerns me, is all. Regrettably, that means that I am on much more somber business than your own. I envy you in that respect.
It will mean a great deal if you can. Your work will mean a great deal, though.
Yes, ideally there is something that can be done that will not only end the breach of law set by the Lord of all Seasock and preserve the lives of these refugees.
She makes a note to ask the doctor about whether she knows anything about this marsh disease.
Sure.
But for now, she will. No, she will continue to, unless he appears. Oh, actually, she's gonna ask. Tell me, is Lord? It's Amimata, right? The Northern Lord.
Amagata is his name.
Amagata. Is Lord Amagata doing well then?
Yes, he has recovered fully.
I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you for your concerns. I will pass this on to him.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that anyone else wants to do? Any particular people they want to talk to? Before, time passes and we'll get to a big party?
Devereaux is just taking up residence outside of
LaFawn's.
LaFawn's door now.
Okay.
Luke, out of concern, noticing that their one friend hasn't come out and gotten food ever. we'll knock on Ariadne's door and be like, "Hey, I haven't seen you eat. You want me to get you something? You okay in there? Haven't got your seat like just like."
I can hunt for myself, thank you.
You say that, but you haven't left the room.
Not that you know of.
Okay.
She left early this morning.
You were sleeping.
No, I wasn't. I just had my eyes closed.
Okay, just checking in.
I've been sitting here and I heard you passing through the hallway.
You shouldn't have heard anything. Including this conversation, I'm behind a door.
And scene.
It's not my fault that this room is right across the hallway. Literally, other side of the door.
You know what? She'll open the door. She's probably all re-wrapped herself and shit by now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about this doctor that we're bodyguarding?
That she hasn't left her room as much as you.
And I can tell you that she's legit. She's very analytical. and very scientific when it comes to her medical journaling, but beyond that, she's very intelligent.
Not that intelligent. She gave us the money up front.
What is she studying? And why does she think she needs bodyguarding?
She studies various viruses and stuff, primarily parasites.
Those insects that get in your skin.
Parasites, yes.
Yeah,
And
like worms.
as for why she thinks she needs bodyguards, maybe she just wants some sort of escort into the wilds. I don't know.
So you didn't ask why we're taking the job that she's paid you so handsomely for up front.
I wasn't part of the negotiation myself, so no.
Emmy got the job for me.
And Zachy did most of the negotiation himself, so
Gonna have to get her something nice for getting me this much money from a job.
Why don't you just give her some of the money?
I mean, I could. I don't think she'd take it, though.
It just
So I'll get her
seems
something nice
suspicious.
instead. Like maybe a new whetstone.
You say she's in this room right across here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a big hallway.
social awareness and Ariadne.
What do you want to know?
I don't that like she's right across. Okay.
What do you suspect her of?
I don't know. I wasn't actually going to roll for
Okay.
it. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's pretty obvious she is very suspicious about this whole thing because she has heard from like a third-party source what is happening. She's never met this woman, and apparently she's very closed off and is expecting danger. So she's suspicious. And
Says the person who's very closed off and suspecting danger.
hey, look, you know where I came from. You know what I do.
You don't know any of my work.
You're familiar with my work.
You could go speak with Emmy about what the doctor is doing and why she feels she requires bodyguards.
Yeah, I guess, but
Then she'd have to leave her room. And
Wait. I know I can do this. Stay right there, Ariadne. Turn. Knock, knock, knock.
On whose door?
Yeah. On the dock's door, yes.
The door opens after about 30 seconds. She looks like she is been awake for a while. Hello, yes, Dr. LaFawn here. What can I do for you?
Hello, Doctor. I'm one of your. I'm part of your bodyguard group. And,
Oh, yes, you were one of the ones that I hired. Hi, hello. I forgot your name already. I'm sorry.
wait, you got hired too? Crap! Because I have only, let's see, 15 divided by 4 now. Damn it!
It's not an even number.
bite one of those coins in
do-
half.
Do you introduce yourself at all, Luke?
I am Luke DeTroy.
Luke Detroit. I know that name. now. Ah, yes, Luke Detroit. Actually, yes, I do. I do know you. I did not know you by your face. I do not believe we've ever worked together before, but I have. I did read your article on. I don't know what kind of medical condition would you have possibly published an article on?
Clearly not leprosy. We'll say it was.
Something drowning ballistas.
I was more going to say, like, since he is an engineer, maybe he made some first attempts at like early prosthetics.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I've read several of your articles on prostheses and the recovery process and patients. It was very impressive. I did not actually realize that you were on the ship, and as well, it is an honor to meet you.
Honor to meet you as well. I've read many of your articles. If I may cut to the chase, though, our other companion here, and steps out of the way, motions to the other doorway, had a quick question about the job.
Yes, very well. Okay, what can I answer for regarding the job? I realized now that I probably had not really explained too much about it going into it, but I was very busy at the time and just needed to secure bodyguards as soon as possible.
Mm.
Ariadne, are you actually like out of your room?
She's in the
Okay.
doorway, just arms folded, sizing up this woman. Can I notice anything about her?
She's super twitchy.
Yeah, she is.
Like if you could imagine taking a small dog and making that dog into a brilliant human virologist, that's more or less what you have here.
Kind of fucked up magic.
Okay, I figured it out. So, since you're so late, Luke, you only get 3 coins, and the rest of us get 4.
You do realize if she agrees, then we just all get 3, right?
No, because she already paid us the 15 coins.
I'm saying if Ariadne agrees, we all get 3. That's how the math works.
No, because 4 and 8 and 12 and 3 makes 15.
I'm saying if Ariadne joins, that makes it 5, unless I missed the part where someone's not taking.
Ariana already joined. It's me, Zaki, Ariana, and now you want in on it.
Okay, so then Emmy. Okay, I did not realize that Emmy was not getting her cut. I missed that part of the conversation or of negotiations. Either way, okay, I'm fine with that.
What are you expecting to run into where your body needs to be guarded exactly?
To be perfectly honest, any violent locals. The disease that I am studying has a tendency to drive those who are near death into a frantic sort of desperate violence. Although that is somewhat uncommon, it does still happen. So violent locals that are undergoing the final processes of the marsh sickness. There are also a unfortunate, unsavory groups in Vontier that would object to my expertise in research of non-human biology, that would seek perhaps to have my head removed from my shoulders, and they are also probably a threat to my person should we ever encounter them.
Non-human biology.
Those Vontai persons, they like a good witch hunt.
Yes, non-human biology. Bark skins.
All right, I remember why I left again.
Bark skins, pygmies, umbra.
So you're saying that you're well known enough that people might just attack you because you've cut open a bark skin or two?
And publish my findings, yes.
There's one problem.
But I thought that they were made out of wood.
Somewhat. The barkskins have a plant-like exterior to them, but are primarily biological mammalian on the inside. It is, in a way, a combination of chloroform or chlorophyll, as I had found, into the cells. The cellular structure. They receive a significant portion of nutrients from sunlight, but also require biological sustenance such as meats and other such proteins.
Oh, that.
What are you
Yeah.
hoping to find?
We all know that.
What am I hoping to find? Not only am I hoping to find the. She pauses and thinks about it. I am of the opinion that the source of the marsh sickness that has been afflicting the western marshes of Montier is of non-human origin.
How
It's
non-human?
not human. It's a disease.
Are you talking about parasites? Or are you talking about, say, I don't know, some sort of sentient race people might not know a lot about?
Sentient race people not know about.
That's what I assumed. All right. So you're saying that there's some sort of conspiracy?
Possibly
Wait,
could be.
so diseases are made by people?
They can be.
You're a disease.
I've met a lot of Vontai people who told me that.
What do you? Oh fuck!
I'm gonna go get something to eat.
I guess I'll
Cry
see
in
you
my
on,
beer.
I guess I'll hold the fort then. Okay.
As this conversation gets more and more tense and awkward.
I do not expect anyone is
Here,
going to be
take my bow and
after.
arrows if you're guarding her.
I got one. Okay.
I do not expect that there is going to be anyone here after my life. Here and now, I have my door locked at all times. I have the window locked at all times, which is actually quite relevant. I do not believe the window even can open. It is a port window. It is meant to be stuck right in the wall like that. What are you going to say? What are we going to interrupt with?
Do you have any theories?
Any theories? Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. She will go into her room.
While she's sifting through her papers, like Luke's gonna be like, port windows aren't always locked. There was one time I had to dive through one in order to something like muttering adventure story while we're
Ari
waiting.
is just like arms folded, staring forward, her eyes getting more and more just narrow.
I know. Just making small talk. Small talk
so-
until comes back.
She comes back. Since you asked very kindly, what her theory is, she comes back with a sketch of three
I was
things.
hoping she'd come back with a paper, hand it to me. I'd look at it for 5 seconds, take it, hand it back to her, and say, "I can't read."
I mean, yes, there's a lot of writing on this that you can't
Oh,
read. But there are three prominent images. One is that of a regular human person. Second is mosquitoes. Anyone who looks at the scrawling that she has seems to indicate that the disease is being passed, or that the parasite infection is being passed around via mosquitoes, which are unfortunately common in the marshlands. And the third one, which I'm going to call for a courage check
Oh no.
from the both of you, is of a tremendous reptilian-looking creature. That, if it looks like the scale is accurate, would be about anywhere between 10 to 15 times the size of a human being. That also has enormous teeth and wings that are folded back behind it.
Fucking badass. Courage, you say?
Yes.
What's that?
It's spirit plus courage, right?
Yeah, spirit plus courage.
Got it. Okay. So I have a 1 in spirit and a 1 in courage. So that would be 2d4s. Am I doing that right?
I believe so, yeah.
And it's only a critical fail if you roll 1 on both dice, right?
It's only a crit fail if you get snake eyes.
Okay, then. So then I got a 4.
I got a 6.
Okay. That's
That's 3 and 3.
that's 4 stress to Luke and only 2 to Ariadne. As that's a big fucking lizard. And
And
if
stress
that's
just goes under fatigue, right?
yeah. It's just fatigue. That's a big fucking lizard. And you are remiss to accept that that is a real thing. But the idea of it being a real thing is abjectly frightening to you. My theory is that these particular creatures, the worms, are a host to a number of diseases, and the literature that I have that alludes to their existence deeper within former Covenant territory, the sleeping worms, would very well prompt such spread of diseases, mosquitoes taking parasitic infections that the worms are hosts to, spreading them to human hosts, which do not have the proper immune system to deal with it as the worms are.
And this creature points to the large lizard thing.
The worms, yes.
Okay.
So this is what we expect to find out there? Is that kind of what you're saying?
If I am lucky enough to actually find a sleeping worm, that would be fantastic. I would like to acquire a blood sample, if at all possible.
So you mean us to kill one of these things?
I mean, to be fair, normally when we're dealing with sleeping creatures, usually once you go to draw blood, they wake up unless under heavy anesthetic. I don't know how much a bottle of ether is going to do against one of these things.
If my literature is correct, and I believe that it is, they have been slumbering for some time, before the cataclysm, even. These
Whistles, because I don't want to whistle right into the mic.
these creatures, from what my literature suggests, were the upper echelons, the highest members of the hierarchy of the Covenant of Tribes, which was defeated before the cataclysm struck.
So this is some sort of ancient undiscovered race that you think has something to do with this disease.
Undiscovered? No. Forgotten? Yes. And relevant to the disease? Yes.
That's all I needed to know.
Well, I don't know all your sources, but you seem to have a fairly sound theory based on yours. So,
Sound.
If you are interested in my sources, I can share the literature that I do have.
I mean, to be fair, we are adventurers and have seen some weird stuff, but so I think it's a fairly sound theory. Yeah, no, I'd be interested in reading through that. Give me something to do on this trip.
Sure. She returns to her room and comes back out with four
While
packs.
she's in her room really quick, Ari's just like, I don't like her. I don't like this.
I admire her brain. That's all I have to say.
She's crazy. She's crazy to think any of this is real. Come on, guys, let's go return for our hunt for the ancient digging machine.
And she comes back with 4 books. They are each in different languages.
It's all the same language to me.
One seems to be on the a study on the hierarchy of the Covenant of Tribes. one is an older work of regarding the transfer of diseases from non-human races to humans. One is there's another one that is focused on parasites that looks like it would be relevant to the parasitic infections that you'd be looking into. And then there's another one that is a history of that basically is a sort of study on the evidence of the Covenant War.
Okay, which I don't know what languages I can speak because I don't seem to have any like.
It's treated as if you speak all of the relevant languages. You don't speak
Okay,
Covenant of Tribe, like you don't speak the Covenant language.
Of
Only
course.
Devereaux does, since that would not be relevant to trade. But you speak the trade languages of Nusazorian, Zazorian, Shizaki, and Vontai.
I mean,
Okay.
I'd probably be really great at this with my National History Covenant of Tribes ranked 3. Just from knowing all
If, like
of
someone
this
like goes up to Devereaux and is just like, "Hey, tell me about like your people." Like he would know some things, but he's actually not there. He's off drinking.
alone.
And then I just like sit there like sitting with him, start reading the book aloud. He's like, "Nope, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Bullshit."
Oh, our ancient lizard overlords? Yeah, I remember those guys.
These guys are
I, for one,
fuckers.
welcome our ancient lizard overlords.
And so yeah, she's just like, questions. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to my research.
All right then.
And she'll nod her head to you guys, and then we'll close her door.
I don't like her. I don't like this.
I don't know if I wholeheartedly agree, but I agree pretty strongly. I'm just sitting there with a stack of books in my hands. I guess I'm going to sit in the hallway and read until
All right.
Bro gets back, saying that aloud
I mean,
to her.
She has also said that she doesn't really need a constant bodyguard here. She doesn't expect to be.
Yeah, yeah. You don't.
He's
you don't
also
actually,
holding. He's also holding his only weapon. Also holding Devereaux's weapon. I'll abandon that.
you can walk over and give it to him. He's at the bar.
You're gonna piss Devereaux off
'Cause, you
when
know-
you come up to him because you left your post.
Because
I know. That's the thing. Like, he's not going to be that guy.
Oh goodness. So yeah. Is there anything anything anyone else wants to do before
before a party.
a party happens?
It doesn't necessarily have to be role played out, but Emmy is going to ask Sir Tetsuken if he has any interesting stories of his own travels. If he also gets to travel often as a sword master.
Oh yeah, he absolutely does. And you know he's very willing to exchange stories if you are.
Yeah, she'll talk. I mean, and unless she kind of downplays the supernatural elements of any of her stories, but you know, she definitely talks about exploring, finding old ruins and areas of like note and scattered history texts. She finds it. She mentions she finds it very interesting that how the other countries all have such scattered histories, whereas Sizak's own history is mostly intact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his adventures have mostly been those of war. Actually, he is he is a warrior of some renown. He's actually responsible for leading another group of sword masters at Lord Lamagata's behest, and essentially taking down a 20 to 30 year long conspiracy of bandits in the Highlands that were maintaining this huge organized crime ring. And Lord Amagata essentially declared war on them. And so, Haru, Tetsuken Haru is touted as a war hero in the Highlands. So he has a lot of battle stories to share, but does note that he does kind of regret a little bit that the majority of his stories don't involve him ever leaving Sazak. He doesn't actually have quite as many opportunities to do so as you do.
Yeah. Well, Emmy expresses that she regrets that she has never really seen battle and has not been able to sort of prove herself as a warrior quite yet.
And in regard to that, he does say, "Well, I understand the sentiment of that. I certainly had experienced that before. That feeling of the need to prove yourself. War is not something that should be looked forward to. The battles are not something that you should seek or endeavor to join. Keep doing as you are. You are proving yourself to your Lord in ways that you that you perhaps don't understand yet."
Of course. Thank you.
If you do not see a day of battle or a day of war, do not believe that you have failed to prove yourself to your Lord. Count yourself lucky.
She will nod, and like very clearly she is considering these words and will think on them. Or actually she'll say, I will ponder this. Thank you for your guidance.
You're welcome. I'm an older man now. Wisdom and advice is perhaps all I can provide. He smiles.
She would give a small smile herself. Actually, he says that, but curious. Can I size him up and see, like, is this guy just, like, ridiculous? Like, can she size him up? Like, this guy could probably still just kick a lot of ass, I suspect.
Oh yeah, he may be
a high-ranking sword master.
Like he may be an older man, but he's a brick shit house. Like he would.
Yeah.
He's like Mr. Rugi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he would absolutely just sever you in twain if he were to actually draw his sword upon you.
Yeah, like, and also, like, yeah, he's obviously also very important, as he is, like, he's being sent effectively on a diplomatic mission on behalf of his lord.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal. Like, that is you are one of your lord's most trusted retainers.
Yeah, like he's super humble. is the thing, but just sizing him up, like he's incredibly important. He's incredibly renowned. He's clearly one of Lord Amagata's most trusted retainers. And if it actually came to a fight, age and experience will do him well.
Yeah, like,
But he's not like say. As I'm sure you've started to over the days started to actually get some names of your fellow passengers. He's not like Adam Kingsolver over there, the impractically attractive Nusazorian man in desperate need of a shirt.
yeah.
Adam Kingsolver is absolutely a braggart.
Just like,
Probably like rightfully so. Like he's probably seen a lot of adventure or whatever, but like he's not a modest man at all.
right. I just like, I sort of half imagine Emmy just going up to him like, "Excuse me, sir, but I can't help but notice. Have you lost your clothing? I may have some spare garments I can lend you if you require. Like, I would not want you to catch cold out at sea here."
No. While your concern is much appreciated, it is not necessary.
Showing the nipple is a sign of strength.
Please tell me Ariadne is there and actually says that. Yeah. Very well.
I cannot do a Fabio voice, so I'm not going to try. But imagine everything he says
In Fabio's voice.
In Fabio's voice.
Very well. Well, if you decide you require it, the offer stands. Then she will, I guess, take her leave. Just...
He looks wistfully in the distance and says, "I take pride in my scars. I would not hide them, or I would not hide them for the world."
She pauses briefly as if to wanting to point out there is a difference between hiding your scars and simply covering yourself up for practicality reasons. But she feels she's rapidly getting the impression that may be wasted on him. So just gonna go ahead and certainly excuse herself. She's mostly confused by this. She does not understand this man at all.
Yeah. So out of curiosity, is anyone else like asking around or introducing yourselves to other passengers over the time? Like, are you learning anyone's names or etceteras?
No, I'll let it. I've been talking for. I'll let other people speak.
Devereaux's mostly just going to be hanging out with the three people he met earlier. Let's see.
Duran, Aladis, and Mekra.
Yeah, since he's on break and Luke is currently watching, he can eat and drink and talk with them.
By the way, John, if you said anything, because you've been quiet for a little while now, I just want you to know you might be muted if you said anything.
No, I haven't been speaking, though. Zaki is definitely getting to know people. I do wonder if anybody actually tells Emmy or Zaki about how they are potentially going dragon hunting.
I'm guessing she said worm, and everyone thought of like a little inchworm, and not with a Y.
Yeah, that's definitely what Emmy assumed when she said she studied things like worms. Yes, that is exactly what Emmy thought.
Ari would have said something, but she is illiterate, so she wouldn't know that there's a Y in that.
She doesn't understand that these are two words that she doesn't understand that they're even spelled differently.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess for Zaki, as you're learning some names, the New Zorian woman with the ornate hooded cape and unusually bright blonde hair goes by Kylie Fortunato. She doesn't seem to go out of her way to socialize all that much, but she does drink in the tavern like everyone else. There are two newlyweds. As mentioned before, the Shizaki man and the Von Tai woman, Izo Keisuke, and well, the Von Tai woman doesn't take the she doesn't she flips that as per Von Tai traditions. Her name is Enis Izo. You also meet with Elaine Al-Ra. That is the woman. That is the Zorian woman in the thicker robes. She absolutely keeps to herself. She spends most of her time in her room.
Lots of those around here, aren't there?
Like she's an assassin.
Only about 3, actually. There's you.
We should all get together, except we hate that.
There's you, Elaine, and Dr. LaFawn. There is the 2 Von Tai men dressed in black are Eston Prow and Christophe Dupree. They don't talk much. They don't. They absolutely avoid it if at all possible. They talk amongst themselves in whispers, but they just really don't seem like they're having a good time. Yet at the same time, they always spend their time in a corner observing everyone else. There's the 2 young Shizaki women are Chao Kirita and Tanzen Junko. They are 2 young Shizaki women who have paid handsomely to book several trips to see and experience all manners of worldly delights. They are basically on a
they're basic bitches.
they're on a hedonism road trip.
Fuck yeah, man! Spring break never ends. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
That's about how old they are. So yeah, it works.
Fuck yeah! Where's Fantasy Girls Gone Wild?
You notice that Emmy probably occasionally gives a slightly disapproving look in their direction if they
aren't like they're not like loud.
Okay. They're not creating
Just enjoying
scenes or
themselves.
anything.
They don't loud. They don't create a scene. They
Like
drink a
some
lot.
people.
They drink like a lot. And they talk with Adam Kingsolver a lot too.
Oh, I was about to say Luke might go. Luke's a hedonist too. He might go join them, and then it's like, oh, they're with that guy.
Not all the time. You can go ahead and join them at some point if you'd like. Which we can get to that at the party if that's what you do at the party. Yeah, they chat with Adam Kingsolver periodically. Then you have Adam Kingsolver, who is apparently a lone mercenary who claims to be seeking an important job in the marshes. Then you have James Heady, the captain himself. He spends several evenings in the bar enjoying his bar, and there are two crewmen that frequent the bar after their jobs are done. There are other crewmen that happen to that do come around every so often, but like you never see the same one twice. This pair you do see frequently. Gareth Seabright and Mary Beth Kellerman, a New Zorian man and woman, who have remarked that they actually have sacrificed a portion of their earnings to regularly enjoy the tavern's festivities.
Seabright, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's
So-
fair. It's better than hardtack and rum.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, you learn of these people, and their names, get general demeanors from them over the week that you're out at sea.
Could I get all of those names in the chat, because I could not into spelling many of them.
It's okay.
I am so forgive me if this comes to bite me in the ass later, but so I keep track of who Emmy is familiar with. I'm only writing down the people she's met and not. But on that note, I was going to say that she is blah blah blah. She doesn't really approach many people on her own, but she will, be friendly and polite with anybody who does come to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, she is, alas, not the most interesting sword master in the room, but
Okay, let me copy and paste this thing here. Big old list.
All right. Just grab that.
So yeah, is there anything else anyone is doing before the party proper?
I don't think so, unless we are told about the unless Zaki's told about Project
anyone
Dragonslayer.
Is anyone going to inform Zaki about Project Dragonslayer?
or Emmy.
You know what? Ari will.
Okay.
She'll
Ari-
sneak up. She'll sneak up behind him like a shadow in the night.
I mean, eventually,
without him expecting it, and be like, "It's dragons."
He's gonna look at his drink, look back at her. What?
That job. You're the one who secured it.
I mean, Emmy was the one who offered first. I was just made sure that we were paid properly.
Do you know what she wants us to do, or what she wants to do?
She's like hunting worms or something, right?
Yeah. Describe to me
worms?
what you think one of those is.
He'll like hold his fingers like an inch apart and be like, about yay big. Apparently lives in people's legs.
Try.
She's gonna put her hand up about as tall as it can go and stand on her tiptoes a little bit. Because she's not that tall, but
Scales. Wings. She has a picture in a book. Bipedal, humanoid, whatever.
Right. You see, she said worms, and I was thinking this, and he holds up his fingers.
Yeah.
I would have charged her more if I knew that.
Does Emmy know?
Uh,
It might be hard to tell if she's like if she was like, oh no, they probably just mean the little itty worms, or is like, no, we can probably take a dragon.
Right?
Yeah.
At this point, it's unclear.
Jackie's just going to shrug. Like, he hasn't really had that much like interaction with it. Anyway, so he's not sure if she's foolhardy or just mixed up like he was.
It could be an honest mistake.
Either way, it seems we're stuck in this contract since the money's already been doled out. Unless we kill her.
I mean, kill her, fail to protect her. I mean, there's no real contract. She just handed me money and left, so.
All right. Just as long as it's on the table.
Mhm.
I figured you should know.
Yeah, that's good information.
She has books about her research.
Okay, I'll go look into that after I finish this drink and 2 more.
Luke has them
Maybe
now.
3.
Okay, Luke, I'm back.
It's been like 3 days.
What did you get into, man?
What have you been doing this whole time?
By the way, just to let you know, picture of worm in the book that he's reading. Yes, that's what she meant. That's what we're dealing with.
Wait, you mean like the
Yes.
statues back in my home village? Why are you looking for one of the royals?
Because they might be making people sick. That's why.
Nah. I mean, sure, we have to get them lots of food, but that's about it. I mean, they stopped the blood sacrifices ages ago, like eons.
I'll take your word for it then. Gets up, like gives him a shoulder pat, and does not inform him that that she said it's okay. You don't have to guard my room. You know, what I'm
He's gonna take his spell back and sit back down.
just let you know, she did say that we didn't have to guard her room. She more wanted the guarding once we were off the boat.
Hey, I want to earn this silver.
Okay. Just wanted to inform you of her words. Otherwise, I would have left as well. Yeah, but it's keep doing the good work, and he will go read in the tower instead of reading next to the door.
Fair enough. Okay. I'll say that you can roll me pitch me any kind of intellect skill to gather some information. Just from piecing together research.
Intellect plus national history covenant of tribes.
Well, I mean, he actually has a book with him right now that he's reading from.
Yeah, so that would. So I think he might be speaking to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So the two that I can think of are anatomy and anatomy and medicine, because I don't really have any. I don't really have anything towards like nature and stuff right now.
Okay.
Unless awareness might work to just take it all in.
Sure. We'll say intellect plus awareness.
Okay then. So that is a D8 and a D6. And where's my D8? There it is. Oh, hello. That is a 12.
Okay. Yeah. You're just looking for, since you're doing intellect plus awareness, you're mostly looking for buzzwords here. You're looking for things that could possibly be relevant to, this job.
I'm looking for the passages she highlighted and underlined in a research book, basically.
Essentially, yeah. Those sorts of things. And from what you can gather, yes, especially based on what you heard Devereaux say, it's an important thing regarding the hierarchy of the Covenant of Tribes that the Worms were, in fact, the Royals. And they were they were the Royals, and they were they were responsible for delegation to the various tribes, and that from what you can gather, in the Covenant of Tribes, humans were the lowest.
Hmm.
And humans were slaves, essentially.
No, is this history? Is this history and stuff all pre-cataclysm? Or?
Yeah, this is pre-cataclysm history of the Covenant of Tribes, and most of it is conjecture, since this is a publication after the cataclysm. So this is conjecture from like Covenant ruins, but from these archaeologists and these researchers, for what they've been able to gather from piecing together the Covenant language and looking at the ruins, it looked to them, and from what you're gathering here, that the humans were slaves to larger, hardier, non-human species of many varieties, and that the Covenant of Tribes was referring to each tribe being a different race. And that it was a nation of monsters.
Nate.
Yeah.
Since the dragons were on top, is this actually Shadowrun? Is that what the Covenant of Tribes was?
Roll a new character.
No, but makes sense.
I mean, the dragons run all the hypercorps, and the hypercorps are the government in Shadowrun. So
Yeah. No, I was saying no, that wasn't the intent, but makes sense. But yeah, and then you also get a little bit regarding the conjecture and research on the Covenant War, that the Covenant of Tribes was engaged in a war with Savalia and the nations of Savalia before the Cataclysm, and were actually defeated in Savalia before the Cataclysm struck.
Savalia, where we're trying to go to, right?
Yeah, Savalia is where you're trying to. Savalia is the Lost Continent, where Zazoria and Sizok, though they are considered part of Savalia, are locked out of it. They cannot. There's no passage from Zazoria or Sizok into Savalia. You're looking for an ancient mining machine that is a giant wagon with a drill. That could take you into a cavern, supposedly, that will lead to Savalia. But yeah, evidence of the Covenant War seems to come from Zazoria and Sizok and researchers therein, as well as several ruins and Vontier, where supposedly some battles took place in Covenant territory. But all research seems to indicate that the war ended before the Cataclysm. So the Covenant, at least from what you can tell, attempted to invade and subjugate Savalia and were defeated. And then the Cataclysm happened.
It's one of those two things you need to remember: never start a land war in Savalia, and never deal with death when and never,
One of
and never
Altai is involved.
yeah.
Ha, 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 ha.
References. Anyways,
So yeah, that's one of the things that you gather there. So yeah, the nation itself was destroyed and dismantled before the cataclysm even struck, and the anatomy-wise, research on the worms and the leadership. It's generally believed by the cited sources here that creatures as hardy and as ageless as the worms aren't likely to have been killed by the cataclysm, but the fact that only the human remnants of the Covenant of Tribes, not any other species, nor the worms, have been heard from, despite historical evidence that they were huge warmongers, suggests that the worms may be asleep.
interesting. At some point when I'm like having a drink or dinner with someone who's actually on the team, I will info dump.
Sure, who do you open up to?
Depends who would sit
wants-
with dinner
who wants to
sit
put
to dinner
up?
with me.
Well, Emmy probably.
So at some point, like probably still having the books around him, he will info dump to Emmy as they're like having dinner for lunch or something.
You know what? Since Ari has come out of the room and was about to tell Emmy anyway, we'll say that she's there too.
Perfect.
And then he info dumps to both of them.
Oh, I guess it's also worth mentioning that the idea too of mosquitoes transferring diseases from worms to humans is actually fairly sound, especially that humans would react to it differently than worms would.
Yeah, Ari is going to actually be very interested in the idea of humans getting non-human diseases and maybe vice versa. I don't know. For any reason, she just seems very interested in the subject.
It seems like it might be important to her.
Maybe a little bit.
Clearly, she got her leprosy from a worm. That's what happened.
There's so much bacteria on the scales, man.
Never shake one's hand.
Claws, hand, same thing.
Yeah. Does the book say anything about that? The transferring of the sharing of diseases?
Well, I mean, like as far as modern medical science goes, the transferring of diseases, there are insects that transfer blood between people, and that's an easy way to transmit it. And
So
blah,
you're
blah,
saying
science speak.
mixing human blood and mixing non-human blood will cause diseases? Is that what you're telling me? Through
I mean,
mosquitoes.
I mean, that's just one example, and also it also depends on the it also depends on the humans and non-humans involved. Heck, it can even happen between two different forms of humans, and basically cite whatever the sort of dystopia equivalent of, accidentally giving other people smallpox is.
Yeah. And immune systems that are locally based, and that are based on local diseases and local issues that just cannot fucking handle a foreign disease showing up.
Just as long as he doesn't start getting into like sexually transmitted ones.
Oh no, he's speaking in general, just like conceptually the idea of transfer of diseases.
Well,
and immune system
would you peace out immediately if it got the sexually transmitted diseases?
Let me tell you about this kinky fuck I once knew. I really love doing it with non-humans. I'm out.
We had a bark skin fetish. Let me tell you. No idea what the fuck they were saying, but
There was a Cizakian guy who really liked an Umbra.
Peace. Once you
Also
go
a
black,
reference.
you
God damn
never
it.
go back. I'm
That took
done.
me way too long to catch on to.
Be
Yeah.
bad, Zach.
Surprisingly, Ari does not want to hear any of that.
No, he won't go into anything like that.
You're,
And like that's something that's like, unless they ask.
by the end of this campaign, you might regret not having that knowledge. You never know.
Depends on how sexy everything gets, I guess. Damn.
I mean, Luke does have outrageously beautiful.
Y'all think
Yeah.
I'm a leper, so
Yeah.
it's fine by me.
Which like seriously, like I know that we had that as a joke, but based off of how she looks, would someone with medical knowledge such as myself think she is a leper? Or
Yeah, no,
just that
it's
she's
completely
concealing
viable.
Okay.
She's got something that she needs to wrap her entire body for, and it's weird.
I'll
I'm-
say right now, as someone with medical experience, it isn't viable. Actually, you never
She seems
see.
relatively healthy.
Yeah, she seems incredibly healthy, and also,
Incredibly fit and agile, and
she isn't sickly at all. Plus, the bandages are clean.
Yeah.
And she doesn't go and change the bandages very frequently. She changes them, during times where you don't see her for a few days, perhaps.
yeah, not like every few hours or what have
Yeah,
you.
like she isn't. She
Not
doesn't have.
constantly.
Clearly, she doesn't have any open sores or anything like that. So, though we joke about that, yeah, there's no way that she has leprosy. There's some
Okay.
other reason that she's covering her body.
Like that's why
But, like, Someone else might look at her and go, "Oh, she has leprosy," because they don't know medicine, and most people in this world are uneducated.
Emmy has assumed that she's not a leper just because Emmy has traveled with her and knows she's not she doesn't seem sickly at all. So
Yeah, Luke just assumes she has something to hide and just accepts that.
Thanks.
Emmy might think she's I don't know, maybe she's really scarred or something, and she comes from a culture where appearances are somewhat important.
Now, if she were scarred, you clearly have to you would have to learn from Adam Kingsolver over there and brandish your scars proudly.
Yeah.
No, clearly,
And
clearly
also just sweat just enough so that your muscles always gleam.
Glisten.
Let's be fair. He is paying the salary of so many oil merchants.
Now I half want Emmy to arrange for them and to talk to Ariana, being like, I think she might be scarred and ashamed of them. Can you teach her how not to be ashamed of your scars?
clearly Ari is just an albino and can't be exposed to the sun.
You know what? I like that theory.
Clearly, it's not the exact opposite.
Perfect.
Please go teach her how to be confident in spite of being scarred. We're adventurers. We all have some. She needs not be ashamed around us. You seem like a man brimming with confidence.
He certainly is. He certainly is. He's also earned the frustration of every single passenger here, at least once.
What for?
Because nobody likes a braggart.
He's fucking full of himself. I'll tell you right now.
Nobody likes a braggart.
Like,
Okay, well, okay, maybe Emmy just didn't get that from her conversation because he was all like stared dramatically into the distance more than
I mean, there's
Braggart,
that
and
too.
she was just confused, like, okay.
there's that too, but like he is ready to tell everyone about his adventures. Like, let me just tell you right now some of Adam Kingsolver's achievements because you've no doubt heard it already. There is scroll here. Adam Kingsolver claims several titles: Slayer of the Grog Fiend, Surveyor of the Northern Marshlands, Wielder of the Barksbane, and Conqueror of Bergen's Hill.
I've slayed a grog fiend too. I'm going to slay another one right now. Glug glug glug.
Y'all wonder why I don't hang out with you.
The Barksbane, would that be referring to Bark Skins?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. And he puts a hand on the great sword at his hip.
Is there...
It is.
Continue.
It is my trusty blade, one that I actually battled an entire den of barkskins to acquire. They were protecting it, keeping it almost like a holy piece, a relic, or perhaps a weapon of fear that they are trying to keep out of the hands of others.
I'm going to tell you right now what Luke's going to do. Luke is going to play Baron Munchausen and be like, "But sir, clearly," like if you know how.
All right.
Have you guys played Baron Munchausen at all?
No.
No, I haven't.
Basically, the entire point is that each player tells a magnificent story of their quote-unquote character's adventures.
Mhm.
But other people can be like, "But sir, clearly a historical fact says that that can't possibly happen." And the entire point is that you have to like adjust your story based off of like
What other people object to.
yeah.
Now, is this like a Covenant of Tribes blade? Like, were these Barkskins part of the Covenant
okay.
of Tribes?
There were barkskins in the Covenant, as far as you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll social awareness if that's all right to see if this is just empty bluster or if he at least believes that it is really a holy relic.
Sure, go ahead and roll it.
I want.
That's a 10.
Devereaux, you said you want to say something?
I kind of want to use my national history and intellect to know if this blade is actually, since this guy's clearly been to Evonia, since he's talking about the marshes and whatnot, whether or not these Barkskins were guarding like some worm's blade, and this guy just jacked some worm's blade.
Sure. Yeah, you can do national history.
Since we're warlike.
Yeah.
Like national history to even if it see if his story is even plausible.
Or plausible, or if this is actually like
stylized blade of like my nation.
Yeah. So you got a 10 for social awareness. The guy's full of bluster, but you have no reason to doubt that he's actually been on these adventures.
Okay, like he's obviously happy to brag, but they seem seem at least mostly true.
Yeah, like he's clearly he's really, really proud of his achievements, and he's really happy to brag about them. But it seems like yes, he actually has been on. Like just from what you can read from him, it looks like he does speak with the confidence that he has in fact been on these adventures. If you want him to draw his sword and you ask to see it, he will, but he doesn't willingly do it.
Oh yeah, like she's curious. She's like, because she's interested. She's like, if you do not mind, may I see the blade? I am a swordsman. I am a swordsman myself.
Of course, and he will then draw it. And the blade itself is it's an odd. Also, what did you get, Devereaux, for your roll?
With my D8, I got a 5. With my D6, I got a 1, so that's a 6.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say you would have had a +2 bonus when he drew as soon as he drew the sword too.
Oh, okay.
Because
I got an 8.
yeah. So he draws the sword, and yes, you recognize this as a Covenant blade. And actually, you recognize it as what would effectively be a worm's knife.
Wait, you think you're calling that a great sword? That's
no.
a knife.
Well, like, it's a great sword to a human.
Yeah, no, he's gonna laugh his ass off about this guy calling it a great blade.
Well, like, I mean, so just so you know, when he does draw it, it would be a combat knife
oh
for
yeah,
a worm. But yeah, it's not like a steak knife.
Also, I'm guessing, though he's wrong about why, it is like he's probably correct about the Barkskins having been worshiping it. Then,
he doesn't. It seemed like he didn't really know exactly why they had it, but yeah, he draws it. And despite Devereaux's laughter, he does get the looks from everyone else in the tavern of awe and mystery, as the blade itself is a single-edged greatsword. And it appears to be weighted in such a way that it favors downward strikes, and it kind of reminds you more of like a gigantic weaponized hatchet, which would make sense as to why it would be called the Barksbane.
so it actually does look like it's especially good at, say, chopping wood.
Yeah, like chopping creatures through creatures that have kind of wooden exteriors. Yeah.
oh, that's an awesome knife you have there.
I
A
mean,
knife.
no,
My friend, I'll have you know, this blade has slain. It has earned its title, slaying over 90 Barkskins that were the Barkskins terrorizing the roads of both Fontier and New Zoria. Like, he sheaths it.
I'm not saying that a worm's knife isn't really good at killing people, but that's a worm's knife.
He just kind of like gives a slight hearty laugh. Oh, then, perhaps one day I'll find the rest of the set.
Maybe you will.
If that is merely the knife, I would imagine it would be quite difficult to lift a full sword then.
He flexes. I would certainly give it a try, though.
She nods. She is not interested, as she's obviously prefers. She is not a person who strikes as, yes, I wield the biggest sword.
I mean, we tried that and it didn't end well.
She has a pair of more elegant blades.
There's nothing elegant about this man's sword. Nothing elegant at all.
Clearly forgetting the ancient Sasakian stories of people wielding really massive swords and screaming a lot.
Clearly. Although that does actually finally actually showing that he has this does actually finally attract Tetsukin Haru's interest. As he does finally like basically start to talk to him and ask about some of his experiences, since essentially before that
Before that, he just seemed full of it.
before that he just seemed full of bluster and like nothing of value, but now it's like, oh no, you actually do have acquired some considerable spoils of your wars and have gone through several battles. Now I'm finally interested in what you have to say. So yeah, and I guess it is getting later now. Does anyone else have anything they wish to do before we would come to the party? And by that, I mean I would be calling an end here and continuing next week. I have, we have another like 10, 15 minutes if there's anything else anyone wants to do, but I'm going to cut it before the party starts.
Gonna be a big party.
No,
Yeah.
I'm good. Ari is displeased, but something tells me it's difficult to find her in a pleased state anyway.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then I'm going to call it into the session. Next session, we will start off with the party proper. It's an experience point to everybody. Y'all have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet.
Good. There's a doctor on board who makes me nervous. Because she's all like, fucking non-humans. Yeah, let's get that blood. And I'm like, no.
I'm just waiting for the point where she reveals that you're an Umbra because she just assumed we all already knew. It's obvious after
I
all.
will kill her. Murder her.
She will actually die. That'll be the end of it.
I'm thinking about murdering her beforehand.
But then you have to kill
Pretty
Devereaux too.
Pretty
Yeah,
extreme
the
there.
problem is the rest of the party is alt protecting her. You may make some enemies.
I'm supposed to be protecting her too. If it happens on my watch, got no one to blame but myself. Which would be fitting because I'd be the one that did it.
Yeah, yes, that would be the problem.
All right.
We would blame you.
Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
I want to know more about the tribes now that isn't actually in the PDF book.
Yeah, kind of what I had in mind as far as like the pre-gen character of Devereaux, and I probably should have established that way more in the write-up for him, is that he's from one of the human slave tribes, so he wouldn't actually know most of these things.
Yeah,
But like I'm totally cool with it going as is, where like I reveal something and you're just like, yeah, no, I'm totally all about that shit.
yeah, just like the.
I'm cool with that happening. So
Maybe he's just very observant and he learned a lot by like watching.
yeah, like it could be the case. Like that's just like I'm totally cool with that, since like that was my bad as the writer.
I did
there.
give him national history rank 3, so I upped his ranks in that too. So
Yeah.
he basically is like the son of a village elder. So
Yeah. So yeah, of course he's gonna know more.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think at this point we've gone through like everything he would probably know. That the Covenant of Tribes were led by worms.
yeah, I just want a list of all the member tribes.
The ones that you would know of at the very least are the member tribes would be the worms, obviously. Pygmies, barkskins. There, I'd have to go back into my notes and look this up, but there was a lesser kind of worm that was like a subspecies of serpents.
Mm.
that was member that was member of the tribes, and those are definitely the ones that you would know of.
See, I always thought it was pronounced Wyrm.
I just want to know how it's pronounced. Um,
I'm not sure
if it
there's
is, then my badsies.
No, it's funnier this way.
I know that Chris Perkins, one of the major writers for Dungeons and Dragons, pronounces it worm. So
Well,
Okay.
fine.
Fair enough. All right. Well, if there are no other questions or comments, I'll end the recording here.
Good night.
No,
I